Whether you've got a big job interview, a wedding, or you just want to look sharp, knowing how to tie a great looking necktie is one of those skills that just never goes out of style. So today we're going to go from the absolute basics all the way to a few knots that'll have people asking, wow, how did you do that? So let's be honest. How many of us started out with the clip-on? It's okay, we've all been there. But making that jump to tying your own is a real rite of passage. It might look a little tricky at first, but trust me, with a mirror and just a little bit of patience, you are going to have this down in no time. All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with why the knot you choose actually matters. Then we'll cover the essential first steps before you even start tying. And after that, we'll dive into 3 awesome styles. Your go-to 4-in-hand, the classic Windsors, and for the bold, the Eldridge knot. Okay, first things first, before we even get into the how, let's talk about the why. Because a tie knot isn't just there to hold the thing around your neck. Nope, it's a little piece of self-expression, and how you tie it says a whole lot about you. You can really think of a well-tied knot as the ultimate finishing touch. It's that final detail that shows you care, that you have an eye for craftsmanship. It just projects this quiet confidence that can elevate your entire look from just wearing clothes to being well-dressed. All right, before you even start looping that tie around your neck, there are 2, let's call them secrets, that make all the difference in the world. If you get these 2 things right, any knot you choose is going to look 100 times better. So, secret number 1 is all about proportion. It's actually super simple. The size of your knot should match the spread of your collar. Think about it. A giant, chunky knot is just going to look crammed into a narrow little collar, right? And a teeny tiny knot will get totally lost under a big, wide spread. It's all about creating that perfect visual balance. And that brings us to the second secret weapon in your style arsenal, the dimple. What is it? It's just that little fold, that tiny indent right under the knot. But oh man, does it make a difference. It adds this touch of elegance and depth that stops your tie from looking flat and, well, boring. Okay, with those 2 key ideas locked in, let's jump into our first knot, the 4-in-hand. Seriously, if you're only going to learn one knot, this is the one. It's the fastest, it's the easiest, and it is hands down the most versatile knot you can have in your back pocket. So, what's the vibe of the 4-in-hand? Well, it's got this cool, kind of effortless personality. It's a little asymmetrical, a little off-center, which gives it this relaxed charm. And because it's a smaller knot, it's perfect for most collars and works for pretty much anything, from a day at the office to a casual night out. Okay, let's walk through this. They called it the schoolboy knot for a reason. It's that easy. You're just going to drape the tie, bring the wide end over the narrow end, loop it underneath, bring it back over the front, then pull it up through that neck loop, and finally feed it down right through that loop you just made in the front. Boom. Done. Now remember that dimple we talked about? The magic happens right at the very end, just before you tighten everything up. And the key, the entire secret, is just this one simple move, pinching the 2 sides of the material together. And here's exactly how you do it. It's all in the fingers. Right before you pull it tight, just put your index finger right in the middle, just under the knot. Then, use your thumb and middle finger to pinch the sides together. Hold that little pinch, and as you pull the wide end down and slide the knot up, it locks that perfect, elegant dimple right into place. All right, you've totally mastered the everyday knot. Now, let's level up. When the occasion calls for something a bit more formal, we're talking big presentations, weddings, you name it, it's time to talk about the Windsor knots. These are all about looking confident and symmetrical. So you've got 2 main players in the Windsor family. Think of the Half Windsor as your go-to for looking sharp at work. It gives you this perfect, medium-sized, symmetrical triangle. But the full Windsor? Oh, that's the big boss. It's a larger, more commanding knot that's absolutely perfect for those really formal events and looks incredible with a widespread collar. Let's tackle the Half Windsor first. Yeah, it's got a few more moves than the 4-in-hand, but that's what gives it that beautiful, symmetrical triangle shape. The key part is that motion of bringing the wide end up through the neck loop and then wrapping it over the front to build out the structure. And now for the main event, the full Windsor. This one's often called the double Windsor, and for good reason. It's the undisputed king of formal knots. The huge difference here is that you create a loop on both sides of the narrow end. That's what builds up that wide, substantial, and perfectly symmetrical knot that just commands attention. Okay, so you've got the basics down, you've conquered the classics. For those of you who are feeling a little, well, adventurous, let's get into something that's less of a knot and more of a statement piece. Let's talk about the Eldridge knot.
I think ties.com really hit the nail on the head here. The reaction you'll get is just like, whoa, seriously? This is not your average knot. The Eldridge is intricate, it's eye-catching, and it is an absolute guaranteed conversation starter.
So, what is the secret to this thing? The big twist with the Eldridge is that you use the skinny end of the tie for all the wrapping and weaving. It's a total game changer. This is how you get that complex, layered, almost fishtail braid look. But a word of warning, save this one for a wedding or a cool party, probably not your Monday morning board meeting. Look, the real deal has something like 15 steps, so this is just the highlight reel. But the basic idea is that you're literally weaving the narrow end back and forth across the front, creating these really cool diagonal bands, and then you just tuck the little leftover bit out of sight. The result is this incredible, almost sculptural shape. Wow. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground, right? From the super simple to what is basically tie origami. So let's wrap this all up with the fundamental rules that'll make sure you always look amazing no matter which knot you decide to go with. So if you walk away from this with just 3 things burned into your brain, let it be these golden rules. Number 1, match your knot to your collar. Number 2, the tip of your tie should just about kiss the top of your belt buckle, not too long, not too short. And number 3, always, always add that dimple. You nail these 3 and you will always look perfectly put together. Because at the end of the day, a knot isn't just a knot. It's a message. The 4 in hand says you're effortlessly cool. The full Windsor is all about authority and precision. And the Eldridge, that's pure artistry. You have the skills now. The only question left is, what statement are you going to make?